eventful weather event. Stunning and beautiful scenery. Cheese sandwiches. Okay, these are cheese sandwiches. But it can only mean one thing, and that is that I'm in the west of Scotland. And why am I in the west of Scotland, Bill? Because I live here. So, seeing as somebody wanted anecdotes and little tales of things that have happened to earthtone9 down the years, I thought I'd start local and go and visit some locations that may be of interest. This not being one of them. So here I am. I'm in Glasgow now. I'm just in front of the banks of the Clyde, as you can see in the background. And I'm facing away from the river at the minute because I am facing the site of the first ever earthtone9 gig venue. And I'm going to turn around now and show you that. So here I go, 180 degrees. And you can see there's the Kingston Bridge, the motorway over the Clyde there. And right behind me here is a building called 200 Brummelaw. And it's on the corner of Brummelaw and Brown Street, you can just see there. And Brown Street was the street where the old Cat House venue in Glasgow used to be. I'm going to put dates up because I'll need to kind of confirm these dates. But the old Cat House moved away. I think it was 93. The old Cat House shut and left the venue to be used as to be renamed as the Rat Trap for a few years, and we played there in 1998, I think. I'm ready to be corrected on that because I could have been 97. But let's go over the street and have a further closer look. Okay, so I've crossed the road now, and here, right on the corner of Brown Street, and if I turn to my left, Brummelaw, is where the door was to enter the Rat Trap, and we parked our van just out here. We went through this door with all our amplifiers, and the one thing that sticks in my mind from this particular doorway is that there was a sign, I think it was a chalkboard outside with a list of bands playing, because I seem to remember there were quite a few bands playing that day, and it had our band name written down, earthtone9, and then in brackets after that I seem to remember it said Tool cover band, which we found hilarious. I know we'd used Tool as in our kind of PR as part of a list of influences, but to find it written down as a Tool cover band was frankly quite absurd, in a funny way. It is hard to believe that the place has changed so much in the sort of intervening 27, 28 years, where there was once this small kind of quite attractive little building on the corner here. There's now this kind of monolithic, smooth, shiny structure. You can see it goes up quite a long way there. It's not, I don't find it unattractive, but yeah, it's quite a shame that the old building was lost. I believe this building is part of the kind of wider new financial services district of Glasgow. So an arts venue has been replaced by a kind of financial institution, and that's kind of, there's a massive kind of metaphor there, really, isn't there? So this is the side view of the building where we would have parked the van to get all our Marshall cabs and greasy, sweaty musicians out and into the venue. I'm filming this building, and I can see there's two cameras filming me at the moment, so they're probably wondering what this strange old man is doing outside with a camera. Once we'd unloaded the van, we parked up the street, kind of where that blue van is, halfway up the street there, and one of the things I remember about that is it must have been quite a warm day, because once the van was empty and we had about 8 hours to kill while we waited to play, I seem to remember I went for a nap in the van, and it warmed up quite a lot, and I woke up in a kind of paddling pool, or so it felt. From here it's a relatively short walk back up the street into the city centre to the new Cat House venue at Union Street, and Owen and I went for a walk up that way, not to visit the Cat House particularly, but there was a Dunkin' Donuts shop up there, and we bought a load of donuts there, and that was, I think, our kind of nutrition for the day. The only other thing to mention that Carl can remember, because there's not a lot between us, it's fairly scant. Carl seems to remember hitting himself accidentally in the face on stage, or getting hit in the face on stage. It must have been a small stage, and he said he had a nosebleed during the gig. So yeah, I'm not surprised he can still remember that. Right, I'm going to go off now to the next stop on my little journey. If you were at the Rat Trap that day, or have ever been, or remember the old Cat House, or have any other memories of this place before it was this big smooth thing, please add a comment and give us your memories if you have any, unlike us. Okay, see you soon at the next place. Right, I've just driven 25 miles or so west from Glasgow, and I'm now in Greenock in Inverclyde, and the year is 1994. 1994? But surely earthtone9 wasn't a thing until at least late 1997 going into 98. Well, I know it's quite a tenuous link, but my first trip to Scotland ever, and playing live in Scotland, was with a band called Warp Spasm, from which earthtone9 eventually developed. I joined Warp Spasm in 1993, and in the band at the time was Owen Packard and earthtone9's original bass player Graham Watts. And as it turned out, we ended up doing a tour on a proper big tour bus with a death metal band called Gomorrah. And Gomorrah is relevant here because part of Gomorrah was Jose Griffin, John Clark and Mike Pryor, who went on to form Copro Records, who then released earthtone9's albums. So we pull up here. This is Cross Shore Street in Greenock. Behind me, road down towards the river. So like a lot of small venues, this venue is also closed and looks to be up for redevelopment. It looks as though it last opened in 2022, looking at the poster outside advertising various tribute bands such as Doors tribute or Jam tribute bands. And again, that's another venue that's gone. I don't remember much remarkable about the gig, except I think it was fairly sparsely populated by audience. But it was fun anyway. But another thing happened in Greenock when we were here, and I'm just going to tell you about that now. So take a walk with me and I'll tell you what happened. Right, so I've walked for 2 minutes from that venue and I'm now outside Greenock Police Station, which, as you can see, is massive for not a massive town. And Yeah, so as I said, we arrived at the venue in the very early hours after playing Edinburgh the night before. And some of us got up a bit early and went for a walk, and I was one of a group of about 5 or 6 of us that just went out for a stroll in the sunshine in the sort of late morning on the 7th of August. And as we were walking along this stretch of road, a couple of police officers stopped us and asked us if we wouldn't mind just helping them out. And we sort of said, yeah, of course, what's the problem? And they said, well, what it is we're holding an identity parade at the station as soon as we can, and we need some volunteers to come and line up and with the suspect, and then the victims of crime, alleged crimes, would come and see if they were able to pick out the suspect as having been the perpetrator of said crime. And of course we kind of said, well, yeah, I guess we could do that. And the police officers then informed us there would be £5 crisp for each of us who took part. So that sort of persuaded us, and in we went into this police station here behind me, and lined up and in a kind of big square room. And we were all given a kind of a numbered position in the line that we had to stand in. And then the suspect was brought in. And the suspect didn't seem a very nice piece of work. He was basically allowed to choose where he stood in the line of the identity parade, and chose to stand next to me. And I think the reason he wanted to stand next to me was because he was a similar height to me and similar build, whereas a lot of the other guys I was with from Gomorrah and Warpspasm were taller. So yeah, there we were, all lined up and into a separate room, but with like a two-way mirror, was led a succession of ladies, it sounded like, who were victims of these crimes. We never saw them because they were sort of behind a mirror, but they were asked to choose anyone that they saw in the lineup that could have been the person that committed crimes against them. And I seem to remember that the first young lady that came in and was asked to pick anyone that they thought was the perpetrator was unable to identify the suspect as someone that had committed these crimes. But then there were two further ladies that came, and I got picked out twice. However, we were allowed to leave. We weren't accused of anything. We were given our crisp Scottish £5 note, and some people went straight across the road and bought the largest pizza they could afford with their £5. I should point out that the officers in charge of the identity parade had warned us before the suspect came into the room not to engage in a conversation with the suspect, even if he talked to us first. However, somebody did let it slip that we were a band, or we were in bands, to the suspect while he was in the line with us. And from then on, he just kept on saying things like, "Yous are a band, I bet yous are a shitty band, a pure shitty band," which was nice. So I'm now going to bid you farewell from the west of Scotland on this cold and wintry day, or as they say in these parts, "What the f*** are you doing? You're a f***ing fanny." Bye just now.